believe the last time I filmed, man, so much has changed. You brought so much clarity, structure and peace into our lives. You won't believe. Yeah, Amon. I used to film with this thing and document the journey. And you brought money into our lives. You brought love into our lives. You brought joy into our lives. What moved me to start vlogging again is the simple fact that documenting the journey is really the most beautiful thing you can do. Like, I reached so many goals in the past weeks, and when I looked back at videos of me sitting at home, Amon, this little guy, crying in Elena's arms upstairs, me being completely overwhelmed after just turning 20 and not knowing how to handle gym, fatherhood, business. And seeing this now, it really brought tears into my eyes, and I was thinking, wow, why am I not documenting the journey anymore?
Okay, bleib mal stehen. Amon?
Kommt der Hund hinter ihm?
Kuckuck. Kuckuck.
Und das Essen ist auf dem Herd.
Amon, komm. Kuckuck.
Den Stein jetzt
Ich glaube schon, ja.
rein. Da. es reicht jetzt. Es reicht jetzt. Pfui. Bleibst du hin? Wackelt das nicht so sehr? I don't know where we're going.
I really like this chapter of my life because I have learned a lot about myself in that period. From a young age, I always struggled with drugs. Yet I never felt like I'm struggling, and I never really had urgency to just quit it. What I wanted to do is have a healthy relationship with it, because I'm not against drugs. I actually really enjoy them, like a lot of other things, like coffee, or watching films. However, I just always struggled to have a healthy relationship with those things. And what I have learned now is that I never took the pleasure in. I never took drugs or drank coffee or watched a film to expand my life, to have a moment and make it even nicer with whatever I'm going to do. I use those things to create the moment. And there's a really big difference with those two. Because when I used to create the moment with those things, I started becoming dependent on those things to feel pleasure in my life, to have certain things. And what I learned, which made me overcome these loopholes and made me learn a healthy relationship with those things, was I should use those things to expand the moment. So what I committed to is living ultimately sober. Ultimate sobriety is what I call it. I don't drink coffee, I don't drink alcohol, I don't do drugs, I don't take in nicotine, I do nothing. I mostly stay away from social media, sometimes I need it for work. And rarely I scroll, but only for inspiration mainly, for my own brand. And very, very rarely I catch myself actually scrolling. But the point I'm trying to make is living without all these pleasures. It has never been my goal. Because certain things are fun. And what I learned now with this mindset shift is how can I have a healthy relationship with those things. Because I actually do drink coffee sometimes, and I do drink a glass of wine sometimes, but I only do it to expand, to make a moment that is fucking amazing, even more nice. I've been on a date with my partner, and we had amazing food, amazing restaurant, and I had meat from the duck, and with it a red glass of wine. And for the first time I drank a glass of wine without thinking about, okay, how can I drink it so I get the most drunk? Because this is literally the pattern I had before. I would think, okay, I should drink it before my meal so it hits me harder, and I shouldn't drink any water after so I get drunk from it. Whereas now I drank the glass of wine with my meal, and I actually drank it over the entire evening with appetizer, main dish, dessert, and that made me really fucking proud. Not because I accomplished something, but because I finally learned what I have to keep myself accountable with. Because it's not drinking, not doing certain things. Obviously, like the ADHD medication, I abused it, I took way too much, Things like this, never, ever would I want to do this again. Never, ever. But now I know at least how, what I have to be aware of, because I have always been very aware. I always knew, okay, it's, this is going on in my mind, and I always knew, okay, now there's this pattern running again, but I never really wanted to break this pattern. I just wanted to run a different pattern, okay, and now this pattern is the pattern is, if there's an amazing moment and somehow the situation offers some sort of things that I would usually take distance from with ultimate sobriety, allow to make the moment somehow nicer without giving me my health or anything big harm, then I can do it. And since I know I have this freedom of choosing whether I'm going to do things or not, it's really easy to have this healthy relationship. Okay, and the 2 lessons I learned that then first made me start ultimate sobriety and then make this learning. With the ADHD medication, I was quitting these loops of, 3 days fucking blasting these pharmaceuticals. I always put it off. In the evening I felt bad because I was awake in bed and couldn't sleep next to my partner and my son, laying there for 3, 4, 5 hours just to get out of bed again. And taking a new medication so I make it through the day. Fucking horrible. But in these moments I always thought okay, now I'm already doing it. It's okay. Let's just not do it again. But I did it again and again. Because after, I had these 3 days and my body just completely shut down, where I was almost having hallucinations and it was crazy. I obviously had to draw a line and just quit it, because I knew if I don't, I will probably land in a hospital. I didn't eat, I didn't sleep, I just worked. And I was 2 weeks productive after such a fucking crazy 3 days. 2 weeks on a great lifeline of living healthy, exercising. And then there was some trigger that made me go into this again. And because the rebound from it, the days after the 3 days were so useless, I literally just I had to sleep sometimes 12 hours to like I slept 12 hours during the day. I took naps. I just laid on the couch, couldn't think clearly. So I wasn't present with my family during those like days where I worked. Yeah, they're not as well. And I realized this is becoming a selfish war. I'm doing this because I want to learn having a healthy relationship with it, but this is harming the presence with my partner, with my son. This is harming my health. So is it really worth it? And then still I, had this loop of, let's just not do it again. And I did it again. And then I listened to this podcast from Tony Robbins and a past heroin addict. And he said this one line. He said, well, what's gonna happen if you continue these circles, Deep in your mind, you're someone else, you have this potential, but, just don't figure out your shit and you run in these circles just because, in my case, I was having this challenge of overcoming this pattern, trying to learn a healthy relationship instead of just quitting it entirely. He said, what's the alternative? Are you going to lay on your deathbed, dying with all loved ones around you, and you're going to be like, no, wait, this is not who I am. Like, you're laying here and you have all these memories with me. This is not who I am, who I was. I'm actually someone else. And this hit me hard. Because I realized it's not about who I am in here. This self-improvement guy trying to actually fix his his deep-rooted patterns. People don't see this. My family sees this guy who doesn't sleep 3 nights, doesn't eat, loses weight, 2 nights, and this really woke me up. I realized it's not gonna become easier. I gotta deal with my shit. And from there, the second lesson was words don't do anything. Both lessons came at the same time to me. I realized those words I'm not sure until when my microphone battery lasted. So I'm gonna say the most important things now. I'm an artist, and if you feel like you're an artist, just start creating. And that means don't worry about creating the right post, the perfect post. Just create. If you try creating the right post, the perfect post, saying the right words, using the right hook, it becomes like a test, and that's not art. I'm gonna run an experiment and approach content with this mindset, to just really focus on putting out there what's in here. Because at the end of the day, this is what art is about, and I've been neglecting this. I've been hiding certain parts of my life, of myself, from you. And now I'm gonna end this video. I'm gonna hide this microphone. hide it from wind. Hopefully it helps. Because there were some really nice parts I said in the past 20 minutes. And I think not everything has been picked up. This would be really disappointing. But yeah, it's my fault. Didn't prepare properly. Okay, love you guys. Let's go. Peace.